Alright, so today I'm going to be solving the YJ wheel cube. As you can see, mine is already in its wheel formation, and to take it out, you just need to line up all of these pieces, which they are, and then simply just move both the middle layers twice. And now it's back to regular cube formation. So, first thing, scramble. I'll give you a couple tips on or just mostly information about this cube while I'm scrambling it. You can get lockup sometime because it is hard to tell if the cube is lined up or not once you first start playing around with it. But once you solve it a lot and you get used to it, it won't be so difficult to tell. And the other thing you need to know is how the edge pieces and center pieces, or not the centers, the corner pieces work. The corners, they don't have 3 colors anymore. They only have 2, so do the edges, so that's what's kind of complicated about it. But I'll show it to you, or I'll describe it after I solve the cube. So this is what it looks like scrambled. It's pretty intimidating looking if you've never solved a regular Rubik's Cube before. But anyway, the first thing I want to do, just like a normal 3x3 Rubik's Cube, is get your white cross and make sure that's lined up with all of these center pieces. So I'm going to go ahead and do that right now. Make sure that's lined up. Now I'm showing you this video assuming that you already know how to solve a 3x3, because if you're looking just to solve this without having any knowledge of a regular Rubik's Cube, then you probably will be a bit confused. But anyway, since you probably already know how to solve a regular Rubik's Cube, just get your cross the normal way that you would with a regular Rubik's Cube, and then make sure that all of your centers are lined up, which in my case they are not. Now they are. Now, you may look at these and say, okay, those are flush, so are these. But with these two, they are not. So the way that you get these flush is you're going to want to move this edge piece to the bottom layer. Then you're going to want to move it out of the way. And then, see how this is facing to the right? You want to make this centerpiece so that it's facing to the right, and then you can just bring it back and put it back in the top layer, and then you can see it, your cross is still there, and you have fixed this so that the pieces are flush. Now we just have to do the same with this. We move this to the bottom layer, move it out of the way. This is pointing to the right, so we move this to the right. Sorry about that. And now we have our cross, all of our edges are in, and all of these are flush with their correct center pieces. So the next step is inserting your corners. So in some videos that I've watched on how to do this, they don't explain how to put these in. Now, it is very similar to the way that you would put in corners on a regular 3x3 Rubik's Cube with a beginner's method, but it's a little bit trickier. So the way that you're supposed to do this, okay, I'll show you. This is orange, so that means I need an orange corner piece here. I see my orange corner piece here, white and orange. So I know that if it was a regular Rubik's Cube, most of the beginner's method would solve it like this on the bottom, but I'm going to tell you now that it is easier with a wheel cube if you solve it on the white, with the white on top. So basically, you do the same thing with a 3x3. I see that the white is facing me, it's in the bottom, and I know that if I put it up, it'll be in position. So I know that since it's on the right, I move it out of the way to the left, bring it down, and put it in. Now, I'm not going to waste much time on doing this because you might have already figured out how to do this, because, if I do that, it won't be lined up, but since it's on the left, it will be lined up like that, so move it out of the way to the right. Bring this down. Sorry about that. And move it back up. So that's basically all I need to know. I'm going to go ahead and solve all my corners. Alright, so I have my white solved, and I have my first layer done. So the next step is getting your edge pieces in. It is hard to think of them as edges because they only have one piece, but that's just how you have to think of it as with the wheel cube. You don't think of this as your face. You think of it as this being your face with the corner pointing towards you. So that's what makes it kind of difficult. But anyway, when you're inserting your edges, there are two cases you can get. With this red one, this red piece, you can see I have the case number 2. So in this case, where it's pointing up towards you, you want to move it. So see how this is lined up with the red? You want to move it to the right of the matching color. So this red is here, so now I moved it to the right. And then what you want to do is, after you do that, you're going to do this algorithm, and I'm going to tell you right now. D, L, D, L prime, D prime, F prime, D, F, or D prime F. Sorry about that. Okay, now, with this orange piece, as you can see right here, I have the first case where it is pointing down, away from you. Now, with this case, you want to match it up with its color. So this is orange, it's matching up with orange. So what you want to do is, the algorithm is very similar. It's just sort of like the mirror version. So D prime, R prime, D prime, R, D, F, D, F prime. Now let's put this edge piece in here, which is solve this side. Now you're going to want to do that with all of your edges, so you'll have your first 2 layers done. So here I have the second case, so I move it to the right of the matching color, and I do my second case algorithm, which is D, L, D, L prime, D prime, F prime, D prime, F. Now I just gotta do it one more time. Here I have the second case pointing towards me, so I move to the right of the matching color, and I do the algorithm. D, L, D, L prime, D prime, F prime, D prime, F. Now, as you can see, I've solved my white, and I have all my first 2 layers done. So the next step is to solve your yellow cross. When you do that, I'm sure you already know, put your yellow on the bottom, and again, if you're watching this, I'm assuming that you already know how to solve a 3x3, so you're just going to do your regular algorithms to get your cross. Now I have my cross. Now, with a regular 3x3, you would go right into OLL and solve your yellow, and then you do PLL and solve your last layer. So, but with this, what you have to make sure is that these corner pieces are above their matching color. So see, green is above green, red is above red, and so on. Now, in my case, I got lucky. All of my corners are above their matching color. Blue with blue, red, red, green, green, orange, orange. Now, in some cases, they are not, and I'm going to go ahead and show you right now. Okay, here's a case where they are not always solved. So, I see these 2 are solved, but then I look at these are not. See how this is orange and blue, and this is blue and orange? Well, what I have to do is I have to swap these 2 so that they're over their right color, because these 2 are, but these 2 aren't. So, if you get this case, what you want to do is you want to flip it so your yellow side is on the bottom, and you want to have the 2 that you're going to swap, they're going to be facing you. And you're going to do this algorithm. D, L, D prime, R prime, D, L prime, D prime, R. Now, as you can see, when I move it down, all of them are matching up. Blue with blue, red, green, and orange. Now, you might have to do that algorithm twice, or because you'll have to cycle them twice, so it might take longer, but you'll eventually figure it out. So Now that all of my corners are above the right colors, I can solve my yellow. So, again, one thing I have to tell you. You cannot use your typical OLL algorithms on this. I'm not for sure about that, but I'm pretty sure because none of them have really worked for me. And I know that you cannot use PLL algorithms because what it does when you do that, it'll swap these centers, and then you won't be able to solve the cube. But I'm not quite sure about if you can't use OLL algorithms. So you can try, but I'm just gonna do the regular one, where the regular beginner's method algorithm when you have your cross. If you know the names of algorithms, there is one OLL that I'm for sure you can use, which is the anti-soon. And in my case, my cube, I've gotten a PLL skip, so I have solved my cube. But I'm going to go ahead and show you a case where I'm going to have to do an algorithm to finish my cube. Now, in my case, this piece wouldn't be like that, so I'm going to go ahead and put that back in its original spot just so I can show you. So this is the one where you in most cases where one side will be solved, and what you have to do is you have to cycle these edge pieces, and you cannot use your typical edge cycle algorithm because again that'll mess up the cube. What you have to do is you have to do this one algorithm twice to fix it. So what you're going to do is you're going to put your one that's solved. Again, if you're thinking that of this as the front, this right side right here will be the back. So you're going to put it in the back, and this is the algorithm you're going to do. F2 U L R prime, and then you're going to do another F2 L prime R U F2. Now you can see it has swapped this, but the cube isn't solved yet. So I'm going to have to do it again, and when I do that, it'll solve all of these, and this will be solved. So I'm going to go ahead and do it again. F2 U L R prime F2 L prime R U F2, and then as you can see your cube is solved. Now you might get in some situations where I'll go ahead and show you. This will be like this, and you'll be thinking, well, how do I solve that? Or how do I finish it without cheating and taking this piece out? But there is a way. What you're going to have to do is you're going to have to do that algorithm. I forget how many times. I'm pretty sure it's 4 times. So it takes a lot of work, but at least you're finishing the cube without cheating. So you're just going to have to do that algorithm, I think, 4 times. So I'm just going to go ahead and do it. F2 U L R prime F2 L prime R U F2. Now as you can see, I have this in the back like normal. I do F2 U L R prime F2 L prime R U F2. Now I'm gonna have to do it again. Again, solid face in the back. F2 U L R prime F2 L prime R U F2. And as you can see, it has solved your wheel cube. So basically those are the only cases you'll run into. So that's all you need to know about solving the YJ wheel cube. I will show you how to put it in a wheel formation, but you've probably already figured it out, and it's very simple to figure it out. All you do is move both your middle layers twice. It's in wheel cube formation, or wheel formation. If you want, you can even checker this by doing that. So all of them are opposite colors, so the whole thing's checkered. But anyway, that's the wheel cube.